spinning. All right. We're gonna do this. Yup. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Like I said in one of my preview posts this week, we got a banger for you. This is your boy, D Freezy, aka Cleezy for Sheezy, and we got an illustrious guest. I'm borrowing that from Deedus and Mero. Shout out to them. An illustrious guest. You may have seen her on TV. You may have heard her work in the movies. You may have heard her on the radio. If you haven't heard her, you're going to hear her tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to a very good friend of mine. She's a beautiful person inside and out. Petrina Thoughtz Bryant, ladies and gentlemen. So give it up. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, thank you for being on the show. Let's go ahead and let's start easy, and we'll work our way towards some more difficult topics. So you and I are schoolmates, high school classmates. So let's just talk about where we're from a little bit and show a little love to the 910. And tell people where you're from, the name of the town you're from.
Baby, Regal Wood. With an emphasis on Regal, man. We royalty down there. People don't know we're one of the best kept secrets under the sun, and I wouldn't have it no other way.
That's right. You're actually from East Arcadia.
East Arcadia. Okay, just Easter. Easter, like the bunny, Cater. Right. Okay? Just like them damn flies that came up 25 years ago.
And so we grew up together. You were always talented in a lot of different ways. You always had your own style. You also was an MC. So did you start out just wanting to be an MC and it evolved into poetry, or how did it go?
Well, the lovely thing about it is, I was a rapper first, but RAP stands for rhythm and poetry. So we added music and beats on top of poetry. That's all it was. I always had a thing for rhyming words. And that was my first passion. So, you put a mic in my hand, the rest is history.
It definitely is. It definitely is. You will be moved. And we're gonna get a piece from you before we leave. So I definitely want you to do that. And you had a speaking engagement at an Ivy League school. You want to talk about that?
God has favored me. That's all I can tell you. For me to be doing what I love, for me to actually make a living off what I love, and a purpose behind it has been beyond my greatest expectations. Maybe this is something my grandparents or parents seen in me, but I never would have thought that schools I could not have gotten into, that I'll be speaking at. And so, I didn't share this with a lot of people, but I'm gonna go ahead and break it down. I get a call and someone sent me a picture of me and it's in a frame. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so cute. I want to copy it. It was like, no, sweetheart, your picture is on the wall at Yale. And so it was then I just bust out in tears, because what God has for you.
Right.
Ooh, I'm getting emotional even thinking about it. What God has for you, it's for you. I never would have imagined, this is our ancestors' wildest dream. And just know someone laid down so that I can stand on their shoulders.
Right. And talk about, so you the spokesperson for the North Carolina, spokespoet for the North Carolina NAACP. You do some work with Reverend Barbara and the poor people.
Definitely. Well, it's a couple of things. I used to be, but I'm still take engagements with them. And I love the title you gave me. It was called The People's Poet. I was like, oh, I like that. And so I just took what was in front of me. I took conversations from my peers, what's on the news, did my own research, and I was able to put them into a poetic form. So such as the North Carolina NAACP. I support the work they do. The Poor People's Campaign, repairs of the breach. You know,
Yeah.
we have our own political views, but when I tell you, my bottom line is vote, vote,
Yeah, we're gonna
vote,
get into that.
because our life really depends on it.
It does. It does. And that's a good segue. Brother Marcellus Williams, shout out, rest in peace to him. Respect and sympathy to his family at this time. He was executed this week. I believe it was in Texas. And um, the family of the victims came forward and said they didn't think he should be executed, but he was executed anyway. And it went to the Supreme Court, and we know that the decision came down. I think it's 9, it was 7-2 or something like that. Only 2 justices didn't want him to be executed. The other 7 or 6 did. And
Well, look
most,
how we set up the Supreme Justice.
that's
Couple of
it.
years back, it
Right.
wouldn't have been like that. But
Right. Maybe. I mean, we would have had a better chance.
A better chance.
Yeah. But
And
that
again, for Brother Williams, may Allah be pleased with your service. You know, the the death penalty is one of the most inhumane, racist systems that we still have in place.
yeah,
And again, like you spoke of the family, he killed one person, and I'm not taking away from
right,
supposedly. Let me
right. All life is precious.
back that.
Right,
But there was no DNA evidence, and I feel like nobody should be executed if you don't at least have the DNA.
right,
And also our brother in South Carolina, Freddie Owens, same thing.
hmm
You know, they not like us. Well, they
They
look a
not
lot like us.
that right,
When it all goes down,
right,
and it's one of those things that's why a part of me is against the death penalty. But then when we have our roofs and
right.
Dylan and so forth, then that gives
Who
them a
don't
free for all to kill as many as they want to if we get rid of this system.
right,
And so that's why I'm it's
right.
just one of them things.
Yeah, Dylan Roof, the judge asked for us to have sympathy for his family.
Okay.
Right. So it's not equal justice, right? The
It
justice is
never
not
has
equal.
been.
No, it's not. It's designed to protect one group from another group.
Exactly. And let me tell you something. Black men have always been strange fruit in this country. You can
Speak up.
take right now what just took place in Henderson, North Carolina, the young man that they found hanging from a tree, no more so than the young man 10 years ago in Bladenburg.
That's
So
right.
best believe North Carolina is one of them sundown states. If going through, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, and he went to Walmart and he brought a rope. Well, if you know a lot about truck drivers, a lot of them buy ropes.
Right.
They buy them to tie up their load, as well as the front seat of their cabs, to secure themselves. So it's nothing strange about them
Unusual.
buying ropes. But
Right. Right.
according to the family and that young man's family, he
Yeah.
had no signs,
Yeah.
none of that. But it's still under investigation, and we just hope justice will be served.
We do. And I got some friends, social media friends that are up there, and they were up there today for brother Javion in Henderson. So they're not gonna let it. They're not gonna let it go. They Sister Mallory and Sister Tasha, I know they're not gonna let it go. So they got the right people on the case. If there's
All right.
anything, yeah, if there's anything out of the ordinary, they will find it. I feel confident in saying that. And shout out to the family. I think his name was Javion McGee.
Yeah,
Shout
that
out
was
to
it.
his family and the other brother you said, Brother Owens. Yeah, it's just we just don't get second chances.
Nope.
And on the other side, we got a person running for president that's got 34 felonies.
It's laughable. They laughing at us. Can't be. you know, um, to to and that's what really struck me, because we had a man that decided to run because he said, if a black man can be president, I know I can. Forget all the skeletons he had in his closet that was gonna fall forth. He
Right.
didn't care.
Right.
And the reason he has thrived in this campaign for even a little bit is because he got to the poor white people, because
Yeah.
he put in their head,
Yeah.
even being the poorest of poor,
Right.
you're still better than the best
The same.
of
The
the
same.
others.
The same line they've been selling them since they've been here. You know, you're poor,
Exactly.
but at least you're not an N word.
It-
I lost you. Hang on. Uh-oh.
we here,
Yeah. I got you now.
North Carolina, Mississippi, Kentucky, all of these are the poorest states in the
In
country,
the United in the
but
country.
yet they're voting red. Go figure.
Voting against your own interests. Voting against your own interests.
Exactly. Voting
Yeah.
against yourself, because what's on the ballot, once you start reading, I mean, come on, Project 2025 says enough, but
Right.
your health care, your veterans' right. Remember, we love this country, remember?
Right.
Y'all forgot about that? Well, let's take care of our vets.
That's right.
Let's
That's
take
right.
care of our poor.
Right.
Let's take care of our medicine, because the truth of the matter is that's what the Poor People Campaign and Repairs of the Breach was. Do you really think they killed Martin Luther King Jr. For nothing? I mean, he
No.
was okay, because this wonderful man, what he was starting to do is merge poor white people with
Right.
poor black people, and
Yep.
understand that makes us 40%, which makes us the swing vote, which
Right.
means if we take our poor behinds out there,
Right.
everything will be in our favor. They cannot stop us. Why do you think they're trying so hard to suppress our votes?
Right.
Remember, there was a time, and not too long ago, we're talking 1965, you had to count jelly beans.
Right.
You had to know your
So
declaration,
you had to take
your
a test.
preamble. I mean,
Yeah.
everything in order to cast the vote.
Right.
And so I take this so seriously when I see our brothers and sisters not voting.
Yeah. And they
It
did the
it
same.
it
They did the same thing to Fred Hampton.
Thank you. Thank you.
They did the same thing because he had the Rainbow Coalition before Jesse, and
Preach.
he was merging too many groups together, and they said no, you got to.
Exactly. And that was the problem.
That was the problem. That
I
was the
mean,
problem.
that was a huge problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when I think about how many brothers, I mean, that thing hurt me, how many brothers are not voting for our VP. And and then our girl Janet gonna get on there. And I love Janet. Janet
Miss Jackson.
says his daddy is white. This is coming from a
Right.
family who ain't did nothing but try to change their identity to white,
Right. And the
marry
information.
other people,
Right. 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 Right.
marry other people that don't look like them, but had a nerve to point a finger. And and it's sad, because let me tell you something, ain't nobody trying to stand in some shoes when it could be more beneficial for you to claim something else. She
Well.
stood 10 toes down on who she is. I mean, the proof is in the pudding, but it's still not enough. It's still
Yeah.
not enough. Overqualified for
Yeah.
her running mate,
Right.
but yet it's still a close margin. She
Well,
up by that much.
yeah.
And that's sad.
Yeah. We got to remember now. Joe wouldn't let Janet date Bobby because he was too brown.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Joe wasn't having that
Man, and look, and
other
again,
stuff.
Michael Jackson got blonde hair, blue-eyed children. I mean, come on. But
Right,
okay.
right.
But
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where she got her information from, but it's not correct. Donna Harris is a Jamaican man. His parents are both Jamaicans, black Jamaicans. So that is a myth, just for the record, for anybody who's doubting it. Look it up. He is not Irish or what. I had somebody on social media tell me, "Oh, her daddy Irish, black Irish."
but and the only difference is and I hate the division, because the only difference is what part of the boat we got off on.
That's right.
That's the only thing dividing us. Because if you trace us all the way back, you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna
We all came from the same place. But
okay.
why do you think black men? I want your opinion. Why do you think black men are? It's not a lot. I don't think it's a lot, but there are some black men that have a problem with the VP. Why do you think that is?
Well, Willie Lynch did its job to divide us. A lot of times they don't love their mother, or they do, but love just their mother. They have this, I can't explain it, and I had to catch, because when I'm on the internet, when I'm on Facebook and other social medias, I just be like, some stuff, it just ain't funny. You mean just ain't funny,
Right.
and our race is one of the few races, because God has blessed me to have so many friends, but I never see any other ethnic groups down the women the way I see black men. Just taking the whole Cardi B and Offset situation. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
so many folks is on her, and all she did is got a lick back. It's probably not even true, but she got a lick back.
Right.
Feelings
Right.
hurt. But then,
She made it just
they and I mean the way they dog Tiana Taylor out, only for her husband to be on the beach with Amber Rose.
right.
Come on, that's your
Right.
upgrade,
Right.
please. And for her to sit on television, I mean, because she's a huge Trump supporter. I mean, so what does that say about our men? I mean, because certain stuff I'm just not going to support. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And it's sad, because of the division, that we want someone that, look, as much as we love our mothers, our wives and girlfriends and baby mamas look nothing like them.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just truth, especially when
Yeah.
that money get long.
Yeah. It is. It is. It is. And I I don't understand it either. From the racial perspective or from the performance perspective, because performance wise, we had 4 years of her opponent, and we know what that was like, and we can only imagine what if he gets four more, what that would be like. We have not had 4 years of Kamala Harris, so she, in my opinion, she gets the benefit of the doubt just off that.
Off
Just
gate.
off,
But it's so
yeah,
many things she has done before she even got to that point. Again, overqualified for the position over him.
facts, facts,
People think Project 2025 is a joke. How many times that man got on that television and was like, you only got to vote one more time?
right,
you
right,
know and
yeah,
and the
that was,
biggest thing is, and I love how she low-key playing her position, but I really want her to come out there and swing on them. But if you look at the ads and stuff, she's not over, the things that she could say and do, she's not. She's
no.
keeping it very low key, because somebody on her team said, guess what, as big as his mouth is, that Bigfoot gonna go in it. Take our boy Mark this week. Boy,
Right,
it's been a
right,
beautiful day in the neighborhood.
you're right.
Mark did all of this hooping and hollering and
He's a
keep
disgrace.
your skirt down. Some just need to be killing. Okay, Uncle Ruckus. But just look what just happened. You signed on as a black Nazi.
Right, right.
You're looking at transgender porn. And you're peeping
Pause.
through vents. And Your
You're
daycare
free.
center. Then you
You're
got your
free.
wife sitting up there.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
for 7
Yeah.
days a week.
The only thing he's missing is being at the Diddy party.
Now, see, there you go. Oh, he got some baby oil at that daycare center. But anywho, we ain't even going there. We ain't even going there. But
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
amazing how
He wanted to go. He
them
wanted to
chickens
be
coming home to roost.
there. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I just find it amazing that he thought he can do what they do and get away with it.
That's it. That's
Again,
it.
the skeletons in your closet, you didn't think that wasn't coming out?
You
Come
can't.
on, we
You
live in
can't
an era
behave.
that you know.
You
Hmm?
can't behave the way Trump behaves and get away with it, sir.
Thank you.
You did you not get the memo?
Whole team left him out there to dry.
Trump left
His
him.
boy, oh, he's better than Martin Luther King. I know you kidding. I mean,
Right.
like,
It must be another Martin Luther King, not the one, not Doctor, not him. It's another one somewhere that will live in Kingston.
it's look. I'm I'm still baffled, but
Yeah, they say
but what
anything.
I do love, honestly, because I can respect your opinions. I can respect, how people feel about certain things. I'm not going to act like I don't have questions about certain things too. But one thing I can say about our generation and the generation after and before us, we're coming together to actually talk about politics. For so long, this was something that my family never discussed. My family
Right,
never, took a strong interest in voting.
right,
I would tell anyone worry about who's at the top of that ballot as well as who's at the bottom.
for sure.
Because if you don't think gentrification and all of these other things are real, and the
No, they are.
judges in your area, we got to know. We got to do our research, and that's what we're doing now. We're actually sitting back. We're actually looking, and I have some wonderful friends that are councilmen that are running for mayor. I'm just so proud of the jobs that they're doing. We're in a
Hmm.
fight right now trying to save two of our HBCUs.
Right.
St. Augustine's College and Shaw University. They want the land. They've
Right.
always wanted the land. And
That's
as a
true.
matter of fact, when we get reparations, we want our land back. We want land grants. We want
There you go.
business grants. That's
There
what
you go.
I'm ready to put
Right.
out there for our people. What you about to do for us?
Right.
Because what we
Right.
got ain't working no more.
Right. I was in a community meeting not this past Saturday, 2 Saturdays ago. And I was talking about reparations to the city council people, and European gentleman came up to me and he said, I was with you with everything you were saying until you went down that racial rabbit hole. And I said, let me stop you. Let me stop you right there, sir. Um, it's not a rabbit hole or a card. I said it's a reality that people who look like me deal with every day. He was like, but it's not about race. It's about class. I said, to you, to me, it's about both, because you can't separate race from class where Black people are concerned in this country. They made us a separate class.
Thank you.
And he walked
Thank
away.
you.
He said, we agree to disagree. I said, I didn't ask for your agreement.
Preach. I'll never forget Chris Rock was doing his stand up, and he was saying where he lived, and I mean we already know Chris Rock pockets is long, and he
Right.
was just saying that in his neighborhood in New Jersey it was him, Mary J. Blige, and one other. He said I live next door to a dentist.
Right. Right.
And so just a dentist. I
Right.
mean nothing
Right. Not
spectacular, nothing,
right.
but yet the queen of R&B, one of to me, king of comedy, been in the game so long.
For sure. For sure.
But again, beyond and above, only to live next door to a
Right.
dentist. So
That's
we
right.
feel? How do you think we feel when y'all start building $1 million homes next to $100,000 homes? When
Right.
you turn around and raise the taxes so much,
That's
And then when
exactly
we needed our neighborhoods cleaned up, you couldn't do it. But now we have others coming in, and I want to live here, but I don't want to live next door to you. And when I
that's right.
seen the little white girl on TikTok dancing in front of Marcy's projects and you had to have
Right.
permission to
Right.
walk past that place. And again, it they oh well, it's so better, times have changed, but not for us. We still don't own anything in our neighborhoods. We
Mm.
still don't
Nope.
can't open up our own businesses. And not that we have poor business management, but you take them
No,
away.
it's not. It's
Um,
not.
I remember when I first came. Exactly. I mean, I used to love going to Durham. I mean, Durham just, oh my gosh, from the Hayti Center on back, it was just, but now we got the tobacco warehouse. And I remember
Right.
going downtown, Raleigh, when I was in college, we would catch the bus. And now, the Linwoods and the little clothing stores and
Right.
Kimbrels and all of these places.
Right.
And now they're bistros with little water
Coffee.
bowls for the dogs out front and lights. And I'm like, but yet Zydeco's and Yancey's,
Right.
um, the owner of Zydeco's was a four-time um, NFL player for the New
Hmm.
England Patriots.
Hmm.
And he couldn't keep his
Right.
building, due to the
Yeah.
high cost. And
Right.
and you're like, what now?
Yeah.
You know,
It's a matter of resources,
of
and it's not,
course,
and they have miseducated us into believing that it's due to our fault. You know what I mean? But I talked about this on last week's episode. You have to understand the policies of the federal government, the state government, and the local governments, and how they systematically excluded us from everything economic. We were
of
always.
course.
I got a book right here. I'll show it to you. Oh, I hit the mic.
Put it up.
So that's oh, you see what that says?
There you go.
When affirmative action was white, because the truth is that the social programs that we are most familiar with, weren't started for us. You know who they were started for?
Okay.
We just qualified because we were poor too. Just back to what you were saying earlier, the poor blacks and the poor. We
Okay.
we just happened to qualify because we were poor too.
Look, when I be looking at all them judge shows, Judge Judy and so forth, it's just amazing to me. So many tricks and loopholes that they go through to get all of this grant money, all of this secure. They have mastered and milked it. You
Right,
know, for the next generation and the next generation. Yet, I remember a family friend of my mother's. He got in a car accident. This man worked all his life from age 15, all his life, got paralyzed. Left side of his body was paralyzed and was denied disability 3 times. Never got it.
right, right.
I
That's
mean,
a that's a hassle. That's a
but
hassle to get.
but
Yeah,
I look at Judge Judy and somebody gets disability because they get headaches,
right.
back,
And
mental,
and
you
and
know.
and they trick us with word games. You know what I mean? They give, like, to the farmers, they give money to wealthy people. They give money, but when they give it to them, they call it a subsidy. When they give it to us, it's welfare. It's the same thing. It's the
Okay.
same thing. You're
Okay.
giving out free money. It's the same thing. But
Exactly.
but
I mean, there's right now there's like a little fruit card going around. You really can't buy anything but fruits and vegetables with it. And I think maybe 100, $200 is put on it a month.
mhm,
They took it away. Like, you don't want our children eating fruits and
right,
vegetables. I mean, because this
right,
is for it was qualified for the people that make too much to qualify for, food stamps or snaps
right.
or
Snap,
whatever,
yeah,
but still was in right there at the borderline, but we're gonna take that back, and then the next thing you know, you see so many people, oh, they ain't gonna do nothing but buy crab legs and if they do, you
Maybe.
don't want my child to have healthy food. I'm
Right.
trying, you know, you
Right.
want them to
That's
get this oodles and noodles, you want them to get this rice
right.
and what
Right.
potatoes and which is gonna lead to a life of high blood pressure, diabetes, all that other good
Exactly.
stuff. That's
Exactly.
where we want to keep them.
Yep. That's where they want
I
to keep
didn't
them.
know.
Yep. They
That's
don't.
what
Yeah.
keep them, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. They don't care. It's we were talking before the show started about poverty. And tell the people about your shirt.
Here we go. We won't be silenced anymore. The back of my shirt says poverty is the fourth leading cause of death in this country. And I want to share a story with someone I used to work with. They were sick, but they didn't have insurance, so they never went to the doctor. And by the time they went, they was diagnosed with breast cancer, stomach cancer, liver cancer. A couple of weeks later, 3 weeks, she's gone. And and everyone goes, oh, she died. How she died? Because of cancer. And I'm like, nah, she died because she was poor.
Mm.
That's how she died. She
Mm.
died because she didn't go to the hospital.
Right.
She died because she didn't have insurance.
Right.
She died because it waited on her. And I know, because I was that person.
Mm-hmm.
When I was substitute teaching, not when I became a teacher, but when I was subbing, I didn't have insurance. So it took everything for me. I was sick by the time I went to the hospital, which
Yeah.
last year was a year for me medically
Mm-hmm.
that I went through a lot. We'll just say that. But I'm healing,
Right.
I'm
I'm
healed,
glad.
I'm
Glad
claiming
you.
it.
Yeah.
Um
Glad to see
and
you.
it
Glad
and
you.
I'm making changes, and
Yeah.
that was most important. Do you want change, or do you want to change?
Right.
If you want change, let's quick fix this stuff. Let's take some shots. Let's have
Right.
some surgeries. But I wanted to change. So in
Mm.
addition to what they told me to do, I started exercising, I started going to the gym, I started taking care of everything God gave me, because honestly, everything He put on this earth can heal us if we
Right.
pay
That's
attention.
right. Yep.
So many foods are banned from other countries. Oh, shout out to your friend. She owns Juiced. I forgot her name. I
Malika.
went there. She had an open mic. She had some of the most delicious everything. And I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I can get used to this.
Yeah.
We just gotta change
That's
because
right.
this is who we were before we started introducing our children to all of this fast food. Remember, McDonald's was a treat
That's
once a
right.
week to go to Lily.
That's right. That's right.
If
You ain't
if
get
we
that. You
made it
ain't get
once a week.
that every day.
We grew up with our mamas like cereal. What the hell was cereal? Cereal kept us quiet while Big Mama went in there with the
Big
grits,
for it.
sausage, eggs, pancakes. We grew up eating food,
Right. Out the
and it was
garden.
usually food we
Out the
grew in
garden.
our gardens.
That's right. Yeah.
And I love one of our schoolmates, your classmate, Mamie Baby. Love her.
Yeah.
Shout
Shout
out
out
to
to you.
Big Country. I mean,
Yeah. 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 My
and
fellow class clown.
her and her family, they've always to me, when I see them, I think of how we lived off the land
That's right.
and how we need to
That's right.
get back to that, because I don't know if people paying attention, but October 1st, they're closing down the ports, union
I heard
strikes, all of the East Coast. Nobody's talking about it, but how do you think that's not
heard
getting ready
about
to
it.
affect us?
Oh, that's
And
gonna
and
affect us.
again, and again, this goes back to voting, because it's only
Right.
one candidate sticking up for the union workers. Only one.
Right.
Got a
Right.
plan in place for it.
Right.
So ain't nobody talking about your cute little package being delivered from Amazon, because we've gotten too lazy to do our own shopping.
Right.
Let's
That's true.
call it what it is. I mean, and I'm guilty too. So a hit dog
Right.
will holler.
Nah,
But
it's
the,
easy.
the truth of the matter is, this is getting ready to affect how we eat.
Yeah.
Because they are shutting it down from New York, Maryland, right there in Wilmington, Southport. They not playing. They're not playing. You getting ready to stop overworking and killing our people.
Right.
The Amazon workers, all of them, the
So
postal
it's a
workers.
union strike.
Yeah, it's a union strike. And they're not playing.
Wow. Yeah, they're
And
gonna.
we will feel the effects.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Yeah, and you're right. Processed foods are so bad for you.
Exactly.
And that's the easiest thing to get, and it's the cheapest thing.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
And
So
think about someone that's poor. It was so funny. I got my little receipt from Popeyes when I cheated this week. But if you flipped over the receipt of Popeyes, if you fill out the survey with the purchase of a soft drink, you can get a 2-piece chicken and biscuit. Look how many 5 for $5s we got going on. You trying to tell me I can get a cheeseburger, chicken nuggets, French fries, and drink for $5. And that's Burger King, that's Wendy's, that's McDonald's.
Right.
So when you're talking to a person that's poor, these are some of the choices in their cabinets.
Right. And it's a perpetual cycle. So you eat bad, so you get sick and you can't go to the doctor and you die.
Thank you. Thank you. And preach. But now I'm not a seafood eater, but I remember just being on the docks with my grandparents and my great aunts and stuff, and they still love fishing and they it was just something so anointed about our waters down there in Sea Breeze and so forth. You throw that net in, them darn fish and shrimp was jumping in the net to be caught. And it's a beautiful story about that. You and I talked about it one time before. We're gonna have to give tell our story. Big shout out to Sea Breeze, everybody's favorite uncle and papa. Just some of the stories that they told us. But if you look at a show called Silver Dollar Road, it will show you how they started stealing. How they stole, not stealing, stole the land from North Carolina down to South Carolina. And them people went to jail for 10 years.
Yeah, my family, just north of Carolina Beach. It's a beach called Freeman Beach. They're going through it right now. Yeah, they're going through it. That's my kin people, and they've been fighting to try to save it. But the city of Carolina Beach is, you going up against a machine. So
exactly.
Yeah.
But you know what? One thing about it, when you cross that bridge, I just thinking back to our hometown, you go down some of those roads, they're called Misery Lane, Coffin Road, Cape Fear River, Noose River.
Right.
When you get to the docks, we still have a place called the Cotton Exchange. Baby, it's blood. Our blood is on that.
Facts.
And until you do right by us, everything you think about. And that's some of the skeletons of Wilmington that we don't want to talk about. And one of the reasons why that area, we still haven't healed from the race riots of 1898. I mean, come on.
And it's just gonna get worse. The longer you ignore it, the worse it's gonna get. You know what I mean? You just gotta own up to what was done. And the thing that kills me about it, and I ask people this: in what scenario is making Black people able to function in this economy and contribute the way everybody else does? In what scenario does that not make the whole country better? Wouldn't that make the whole country better if we had more to contribute to the economy? Even if we go and buy a bunch of Hummers and Cybertrucks and shit, it's still gonna be good for the economy, ain't it?
Make it make sense, because I'm not understanding, because that's what they don't want us to do, is for that money to recycle back into our own community. And sometimes we're our own worst enemies when it comes to that.
That's true.
We got to be truthful.
That's true.
But again, in speaking of reparations, I also want business plans. I want us to, financial education and literacy. I remember, my credit first got screwed up in college. It was raining.
Mine too.
It was raining. I wanted an umbrella. You know, they had them free. I filled out for a card, didn't know, card got sent home.
Right.
I ain't gonna speak on it, but somebody got their hands on it, you
Right.
know, and I wasn't mad, but
That's a
again,
lot of people. That's a lot of people's story. That's a lot of
they
people.
allowed me
Yeah.
to have something they wouldn't even give my mother.
Right.
My mother, who's worked all my life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Didn't
Right.
qualify for it.
Right. And they'll let
And
us get.
so, you know, again, you know, she paid minimum payments. You know, we
Right.
did the best we knew how to do. But I'm like, how many of us, this is our stories? Not to mention you only gave us the poor people credit
Right.
card.
Right.
You know, $300 limit, never
Right.
3,000,
No.
never 2,000.
No. And that's what I was.
500, 700 on a good day.
Right. And they'll let us go into hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt for a college degree, but they won't give us that same 100,000 to start a business.
Thank you. My
Or to buy
minimum
a home.
payment 25, but you taking $15
Right. You'll never pay
$15
it off.
towards
Right.
interest.
Right. You'll
Quit
never
playing
pay
with
it off.
us.
Right. And it's designed to keep you in debt. And they should teach that in school. They should teach you that your senior year of high school.
Thank you, but they got all these other classes we just simply don't need. Not
Right.
to mention, you know, and college ain't for everybody. And I
No.
just, when I go back and I'm looking, you know, as a school teacher myself, what happened to auto mechanics? Future homemakers of America, future business leaders. Man, Mr. Hooks them had y'all working on them kids' cars, air conditioners,
Right.
you know, and it was a way to make a living. And now those same things I needed. Trust me, I broke up with a boyfriend who couldn't help me fix some stuff around the house. I mean, what? Nah, brother, don't even worry about it. Go on somewhere. You
Where we
know what
from,
happened to brothers? We got some young men can't even change a tire, can't even change the oil.
Yeah, these kids today, all they can really do is use their thumbs to text. That's about all they
Okay.
or Google search.
They're gonna fall off. You know, and what's wrong with, you know, teaching these trades back to our children just for the basic things?
And they make a
you
lot
know,
of money. Plumbers make a lot of money. HVAC
okay.
guys make a lot of damn money. Yeah, they make a lot of money. They make probably more than I make. So
welding, all of that stuff, because it's needed now.
Right.
It's needed now, and
always be needed. Yeah.
So nobody's coming taking our jobs. Just so we clear, nobody's taking our jobs. No. We're not even taught the basic skills.
Right. Yeah.
To master some of these jobs. These kids. You know, I love sewing, and that was one thing I did love about COVID. Mm-hmm. COVID retrained us to say, hey, when the money gone, this all you got.
Right.
You know, so we started back crocheting. We started back. All my friends, they are super duper plant lovers. You know, we started, you know, even if it ain't nothing but some little tomatoes on your balcony, we was growing it. We started mastering our skills, and so that was a lovely. Come on, we started making the masks. That was a lovely thing, but don't get too comfortable.
You're right though. We don't use our hands, and it's something about learning how to use your hands to do things that is good for a young mind. You know what I mean? It's good for a developing mind to learn how to use your hands. And you know us. I was talking to my mother, and you know, I was doing some work in my yard, and some people were like, how'd you do that? I said, I did it with the same way we used to do it back home, with a hoe, a rake, and a shovel. That's all we had.
That's all we had. Who had a weed eater? You better get the pulling.
Right, you got to push lawnmower, and you better you better go around that.
And that's my thing. Buy a push lawn, you know, and then. No disrespect, but then when I see the amount of money we have given our children for Roblox, are you serious right now? But they have drawn us in. They've made it brighter. They've made it this. They've made it that. It's never ending. You know, when we grew up, TVs, It went off. When you heard dun 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 dun, dun
That
shut
was
it
it.
down.
That
It was over.
Yeah.
It was
Till
it.
in the morning. Until in
In
the
the
morning.
morning,
Yeah,
you heard
yeah.
wow. You know, you heard that about 6 o'clock, scared the shit out you. You know,
It did.
but you
But yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah. But now it's always on, and it's always
it's
something
always
going on.
on. It's
And
always something going. And so, you know, even with Pac-Man, once you got to the strawberry, your game was over. But now it takes it to another level. So then they
right,
pull you in. Hey,
right,
you want more money, more coins to dress your characters up. Oh, give us $10, give us
right.
$20. I read somewhere somebody
That's crazy.
child $40,000 savings, and they ain't getting it back. $40,000
Yeah,
that
no.
they child had access, you know, to the phone and
Right.
brought the buck, and that was in the savings, so they had
That's
no idea.
that that's their fault. They should somebody should
That's
have been
their
checking
fault.
something. Somebody should have been checking something. I ain't
Somebody should have checked on something.
gonna
But but I tell you
yeah,
what, mine
yeah,
wouldn't have
it's
been able
crazy.
to sit down
It's
for about
crazy.
a month.
I'm gonna ask you this because I know you and I are about the same age. I ain't gonna tell you age. I know you women are sensitive, but so I was having a conversation with somebody and talking about music and hip hop today, and the sisters are they most of them are, well, the popular ones are kind of risque, right? They kind of look on the Little Kim side of the game. Do you think it's worse now than it was when we were young, or are we just hypocritical and forgetting what we did?
Man, listen, not living. I mean, because what we went through, we was expressing ourselves. And
Hmm.
of course, it's nowhere like it was because I was sitting in the bed with my mom. You know, we're looking at television and you can get with this, you can get with these were commercials, you
Right.
know, about, and it's just amazing how much of our music was played
Oh yeah.
in these commercials. And I've always said they love our culture but don't love us.
Facts.
You know, we not eating off it. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Who was it? New Edition was on a world tour, and the tour bus dropped them right back off in front of the
In the
projects
project.
with a check for $1.75.
Yeah, and a VCR.
Okay, thank you. And what we have done is with this art form that we've created, we see it everywhere. It's in our music, it's in our clothes, it's how we speak. You know, there was 4 elements of hip hop.
Yep.
Actually 5: rap,
Right. Right.
poetry, turntablism,
Yep.
DJing,
Yep.
graffiti,
Yep.
break dancing,
Right.
um, and song. And so we created something so grassroots. Big shout out to the ones that paved the way. Because of our age, we saw it all from the beginning. There was
Right.
our fathers
Right.
until now. And we always had messages, even though we was out there wilding. You know, KRS was like the J, the I, the
Got
M, the Y. We
right.
talking about Jimmy hats. We talking
Right.
about protection.
Right.
Let's talk about sex,
Right.
baby. You
Right.
know,
And yep.
Brenda's got a baby, but Brenda's barely got a brain. Damn shame, the girl can barely spell it. I
Right.
mean, there was so much message in our music,
Yep.
and we went from message to mess. Because I ain't gonna lie, you know, some of my favorites. This is my lifestyle. You know, I'm like, whoa, what in the world just got
Like
said? And
it's
I hate
catchy.
to be
It's
critical
catchy.
because I'm quite sure when my mom heard me, you know, playing Two Live Crew.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Right.
Whoa,
We
you know,
had ours. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
we had ours, but
We
but
had
there
that
was a
side.
balance.
Yeah, we had that side, but there was also the conscious side. And now
Yeah,
I
it
don't.
was. Come on,
Yeah.
KRS-One, Leaders of the
Public
New
Enemy.
School, Public
Yeah.
Enemy. I mean,
Explain.
always a message.
Right. Big
Rakim, the
Daddy.
hardest to ever do it and never even cursed. You know,
Facts.
it was just a beautiful time to be alive and embraced all of that. It was our way of expression, and I think somewhere along the way with this next generation, we just lost. We gotta pull them back in. We
Yeah.
gotta give them truth because truth be told, there are a lot of great rappers out there like D1 and so forth, but they'll never get played. They'll never get that
Right.
time because
It's no balance.
That's
No
not
balance.
what sells.
Yeah, it's no balance. Yeah, and the sisters, Sexy Reds and the Glorillas. I like their music, but I don't like to see my sisters over sexualizing themselves because they're sexy enough without having to do that. But
Okay, because that's what was always done with us. What was it, Sarah? What's
Sarah Bartman.
Yep.
Yep, Sarah Bartman.
And
Yep.
and again, and we can own our sexuality.
Yeah.
It's nothing wrong with that. I ain't gonna act like, hey, I know when I'm cute and sexy too.
Right.
But
Right.
it was a time to turn it on and turn it off because
Yeah.
I'm more than just that. But you think about it, no other rap,
Yeah, but I
Rhapsody
just
don't get the love she deserves.
she does not. But shout out to Rhapsody. You know what I mean? Shout out,
Our
big
own North Carolina.
big up to her. Yeah, but just turning on the radio in the morning when a lot of people taking their kids to school and you hear somebody talking about a body part being brown, that's a little much. You know what I'm saying? We
It's
didn't do
it's,
that.
it's too
We didn't
much.
do, we
And
didn't do that.
then for you to come out with a lip gloss line, booty
With all
pink,
these names. Yeah.
booty brown, pink, gonorrhea, yellow discharge. That's the name
Right. I mean,
of her lip gloss.
I know. I can't get with that.
And it's sad because that's what our little girls, I mean,
That's the thing. That's who our babies aspiring to be. They want to be like Glorilla. I saw a video with the little girls. I don't know which song they was singing. Bend over and do something, but they was in preschool. My grandmama would have got a switch.
Woo! And better be lucky she ain't dipping in no water for that whoosh effect.
She would have got a switch. That's all I'm saying. Like that is crazy. All right, well, we've been going on for about an hour. I've enjoyed the conversation as always, but I cannot let you get out of here without doing a piece. So the floor is yours. Because we could go on it all night. I'm sure we have before, right? But
you know it.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know what? I'm gonna do this one. This one's different. I kind of just wrote it, but it just taking us back to getting out there to vote and realizing we're the swing vote and that we can make a difference. So make sure you go to the polls. Make sure your fam go to the polls. Our religious leaders. Um, Separation of politics and church.
Yeah.
Some things we got to leave over there and leave this right there. Because all I can think about is Matthew 25. When I was hungry, did you feed me? When I was cold, did you clothe me? When I was thirsty, did you give me something to drink? Because the Bible says, what I've done for the least of these, I've done also unto me. So,
right.
so this, so we cannot forget about everybody.
Right.
That we got to go to that poll as if our grandparents, we don't care about gay and transgender, really fine line what that abortion,
right.
what they're talking about, so that we can have a clear understanding. Because if you're going to stand in front of your pulpit and say these things, let's give it to them all. So I'm gonna end it like this.
All right.
Dearly beloved, 140 million of us should be gathered here today in order to form a more perfect union. Poor and low-wage workers should be included, joined together in holy matrimony. This man, this woman struggles every day to stay alive, yet poverty is how they died. That's the fourth leading cause of death. America watches yet holds her breath because they would rather cash out on insurance policies, cricket policies, ensuring that the rich stay rich and the poor pays the taxes. So I ask this: If anyone knows why these two groups should not be joined together, let them speak now or forever hold their peace. We are strong, not weak. Our vote is our voice. The ballot box should be our choice. Hiding behind the veil of legislation, using laws to suppress voters' registration. Well, the blushing bride has arrived, and we will lift from the bottom and rise like a phoenix in Arizona skies, set fire on Alaskan snow, and demand that you give the natives back their land. Within this land of the free, home of the brave, we are the grandchildren of former slaves. We are the free men of free men because their all is what they gave. We are the veterans on the street, no housing, begs for something to eat, holding signs that say God bless, but the U.S., there are 5 vacant homes for everyone that's homeless. City rezones our homes and take what our grandparents left. Gentrification moves in, but don't want to live next door to the poor. But Congress turns around and spends 20 trillion on war, but cuts the budget for you to house me, and I must make 3 times the rent in order to rent, and the average rent is $2,000 monthly, and you wonder why when the poor die, we have to bury them through GoFundMe. Same politicians asking for you to GoFundMe, yet the poor are always accused of handouts as you hand out the scraps that the ones you put in office. But watch this. We are the swing vote. We about to swing low and take them chariots to the pole, coming forth to carry us home and bone. In order to keep this marriage together, we vow somehow to have and to hold from this day forward, for richer or poor, for better, for worse, for sickness and in health, till death do us part. I need you to go out there and vote, because we all got to do our part.
I'm always moved. I'm always moved. You are powerful. You are powerful. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Blessing us with that. So if people want to book you, how do they get up with you?
Find me on Facebook. I got to work on my website and all that other good stuff. But Petrina Bryant, Trina Thoughtz. Just hit my inbox. And I'm willing to go where my people are. You know. So don't ever think, oh, wait a minute, she too high, this, that, and another. If it's for a cause or a purpose, I'm there. God has already paid me back. He paid me back through my knowledge. He paid me back through my health. And the wealth, that's something that's just gonna come later.
Yep. That's all right. We wealthy now. We just
exactly.
We're just not monetarily wealthy, but we're gonna
all
get
right. Here we go.
Reparations now. All right. Thank you so much. I love you. And
thank you. Love you, big brother. One love. Always.
Yeah, we'll be talking. Talk to you later. Thanks.
You already know. Yep. Peace out, family. Thank y'all for tuning in.